Hello again. This video is a short tutorial for configuring PuTTY for working on the Mininet labs. The Mininet installation video showed you how to log on to the Mininet VM via the command line using SSH. There are also several GUI SSH clients. One of these is PuTTY. There are versions of PuTTY for Windows, Macs, and Linux. Here are some comparisons of PuTTY versus the command line interface. Easy launch of multiple terminal sessions. A copy and paste capability. There's also software for secure file transfer capability between the Mininet VM and your host computer. This is part of the PuTTY distribution, but there are executables that you have to run separately from the terminal program. One disadvantage of PuTTY and the CLF program as well is that you will have to install and run separate software to enable X11 forwarding. This will allow you to run graphical programs such as Wireshark on the Mininet VM and have the output displayed on your host computer.
You can download PuTTY from the site ssh.com/academy. Scroll down to the left panel until you see the link PuTTY. Click the down arrow, and PuTTY download will be the link you click on for the download PuTTY for Windows. Follow the other links to download PuTTY for Macs and Linux. I've already downloaded and installed PuTTY on my PC. The first step in using this product is to configure it as an SSH client. Click on the PuTTY icon to open. Now fill in the basic SSH sessions information. At the right panel at the top, type in the host name. In our case, it'll be localhost. For the port 2223. Next, configure PuTTY to handle X11. Go to the left panel, click on SSH. The menu expands, click on X11. On the right-hand side, check the box that says Enable X11 forwarding. We have one more thing we have to do before we finish the configuration. You have to name and save your session. So click on Session, and let's name the session Mininet. You can choose whatever name you want. Click Save. Now the configuration is saved. First, we will open VirtualBox and start the Mininet VM. Okay, I'll minimize the console and I'll minimize the Oracle VirtualBox. Now highlight Mininet, click Load, click Open. If this is the first time you have logged on here, a message about the missing host keys will appear. There's no security concern for the setup. This is just normal. Answer yes. Now we can log on with the username and password. Mininet. We are now at the user prompt. To open multiple sessions, just click on the PuTTY icon again. And click on Mininet to load it, and then click Open. You should have notice there's no message about missing host keys. So I can log in here again. Now let's take a look at the copy paste function. I'll type something in the command line in the first instance. And the way to copy this to the clipboard is to highlight the command or whatever you want to copy. Go to the other window and right-click, and you've copied the command. You can do this with any files you want. And I just executed the command on both instances. And this is the command you will see in the labs. You can also use this copy paste function to copy commands from the lab text to the Mininet VM. I'm going to click on Lab 0. And I'll close the second window. And I'm going to scroll down till I get to some of the commands we have in the lab. And I'm going to highlight the command I'm going to copy over to the VM from my host computer. The only difference here is after you highlight the command, you have to use Control-C to copy to the clipboard. If you come over and click on the Mininet VM and right-click, the command appears. Finally, as I mentioned earlier, you will have to install and run an X11 server program on your host computer to activate X11 forwarding. For Macs, you'll need to install a product called Xquartz. For Windows, you need to install Xming. I've already installed Xming on my system. To actually start the X11 server on Xming, you have to check the icon on Xlaunch that is installed with Xming. When you run Xlaunch, a few windows pop up. Notice that multiple windows is checked. Click Next, and Next, and Next. Basically, you're accepting the defaults. Click Finish to start Xming. Now the X11 server should be started. There's an easy program to determine whether X11 is working. Type in the command xterm. And this will open a graphical window. It doesn't appear graphical, but it is. And we can close down our window just by typing exit.